YouTube, welcome to GeekShhh. Now, the goal of every miner is to have a stable rig. So what's a stable rig? A stable rig, in my personal opinion, is a rig that can go 5 to 7 days without restarting and also not thermal throttling. That's a stable rig, in my opinion. Some people might think it should go more or less. You should definitely always shoot for the moon as long as you can mine, but 5 to 7 days, I feel like you good. So there's a few things you can do to accomplish this. You can increase your intake airflow. You can increase your exhaust airflow. You can separate your rigs. You also could thermal pad your cards, which is always a good idea. But now you have another option. You can copper plate your cards. Now, if you've seen in a previous video I copper plated a 3080. That copper plate essentially came from someone in America. I believe he was like the first one to do that, to come up with the idea and put it all together. And I remember telling my friend at the time that, it's only a matter of time before the Chinese get a hold of this and make it cheaper. Well, that day is here. I'm copper plating the 5700 XT. All right, let's talk about pricing. If you was to order a 3060 or a 3070 Ti copper plate from Cool My GPU, it would be $29.99 plus taxes and shipping. Well, I would pay shipping of $837 and I would get it. It'll come out to $40.66 box and ship to me. I bought a 5700 XT copper plate and essentially the same 3060 3070 Ti copper plate. Both of them was only $29.47 box and shipped to my address. So you make your choice, and keep in mind, I believe I was one of the first people to buy these on AliExpress. They even got cheaper than that now on AliExpress. You could really get these for probably like half the price at this point. So
it is what it is, and what it ain't, it'll never be.
All right, let's talk about shipping. I ordered this August 1st. They shipped it out August 2nd. It's made its way from China and hit New York August 12th. And then from New York down to my state by August 16th, it was in my mailbox. So basically 16 days. Personally, I don't understand how China is able to ship to America so cheap, but I appreciate them, because if I want to order something from EKWB, they're going to charge me like $30 to ship it to me. And they're closer to the United States than, China. So that's how long it took to get it to me. I'm on the East Coast. If you're in the Midwest or on the West Coast, I don't know how long it's going to take you, but it only really take me 15 to 16 days to receive items that I order off AliExpress. Now, this is what came with it. I had the 5700 XT copper plate and the 3060 3070 copper plate, and also the cap tape came with it. The cap tape is what you use to put on the inductors. I believe it's called the inductors, just to protect it, just in case the copper plate slips. You don't want to short out your board by hitting those inductors. You shouldn't really have that problem because this is a whole copper plate. That's really for when you're using the copper shims, which is more prone to slide around. But nonetheless, it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, with this video, I'm going to be speeding things up a lot. I don't want this to be a long video at all. If you want a slow down version on opening the 5700 XT step by step, please watch my previous video. I did a real slow down version when I opened it up to thermal paste it. So let's get straight into this. paste ain't even hitting like that. Look at this. All right, I had to jump in here. This is like a mining horror movie right now. Look at this card. The thermal paste is not really even on there. Now, if you watch my previous video, I put hella thermal paste on this core and it essentially evaporated. I don't know what happened in here. I'm extremely confused. Now, some people say, oh, if you're using too much thermal paste, if you use a lower amount, it's better. No, this is basically deleted. This side, the right side of this core has deleted the thermal paste. I don't know exactly what happened at all. I'm confused at this situation. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know, but you're gonna see the difference in my core temps now that I did it. And I actually thermal pasted it the same exact way as I did before, but now it's stuck for some reason. I don't know if it's because I was doing the washer mods or what, because you remember I was opening it up. I wasn't opening up the whole card to do the washer mod. I was just unscrewing the X bracket the brace and then putting the washers on there. So maybe that's why. I have no clue. Let's proceed. I think that's it. All right, so this is how the copper plate will go. Be a nice semi-snug fit. All right, so put this thermal paste. Not gonna go crazy with the thermal paste. You know, y'all call me the paste king. I'm not gonna go crazy with the thermal paste on this. Right. Spread it. Oh, that. The cap tape. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here. So basically all I really did was put the paste on all those memory chips, a semi-thin layer, spread it all out. Then I took the cap tape and put it on, I believe they're called inductors, I'm not 100% sure. Basically on the ones that stuck out the most. Now then putting cap tape on those are mainly for when you're doing, you know, the copper shims to protect it, because those are more prone to move around. When you're using a copper plate, it really shouldn't move around much at all, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So definitely utilize those the cap tape that comes with it. Put it on there just to protect yourself, give you an extra layer of protection, but you really shouldn't really have any problems. So yeah, that's basically it on that one. Now gotta put paste right here. paste here. Paste from here. And the paste is to hold it together. Alright, put paste here. Alright, so let me jump back up in here. As you can see, I'm pasting it the exact same way I pasted it in the previous video. I am not changing that. I don't know. I really think it's the washers that really caused that problem. I don't know, for some reason it must have been so much pressure that it literally just obliterated that paste. That's why my temps was at 66. But anyway, I'm basically doing it the same way. Now in the video, you're going to see me trying to reassemble this, and I was real scared of letting go of that plate, so I was holding it with my thumb, and eventually I just let it go because the paste does a real good job of becoming a glue and holding that plate together, so you don't really have to worry about that. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is go into the before and after results of the temperatures. So let's get to it. All right, so as you can see, GPU 2 of the AMD, the before temperatures is 60 and 72. Now this is kind of off because I literally seen it jump all the way up to 66 before, so I can't remember what was the temperature that day. I don't really think it was in the 90s. We not in the mid 90s, but you know, probably like 87 degrees outside. So, and remember, this is right in front of a fan. So at the end of the day, 60 and 72 was my pre-temperatures. After the mod, I went down to 46 core and 60 memory. Like I said previously, the plate had nothing to do with the core. That was just because the paste was obliterated, as I mentioned earlier in this video. That little paste fiasco. So that's why that was like that. But look at the reduction in temperatures. We went from 72 memory down to 60 degrees memory. That's a 12-degree reduction. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. That is extremely good. And I'm very happy that I bought this plate. I didn't really think I needed it, but I'm glad I bought it because of that whole paste situation. My card probably would have burnt out eventually, man. I don't know. Like, it probably would have been real bad. So good thing I bought this to fix that situation quick. Now, this is definitely something that people should really start buying. Before it was an excuse because it was so expensive. Before, well, the guy at Cool My G didn't even have 5700 XTs copper plates, but I know he was coming out with it. But now that these are so inexpensive, I really suggest people could really get out there and start doing this to their rigs. Now, there is a little maintenance to it. From what I understand, you should repaste your card every 6 months, you know, twice a year. So there's a lot of maintenance to it, but I really think this is really going to help a lot of people. I'll be seeing people all the time with screenshots, and their card is at 100-degree memory temps for the 5700 XT. So this is definitely something that people should really start doing, especially if you're a gamer. This will help people out a lot. It make you wonder why, you know, the companies don't automatically do this, but then you got to remember, most people are not comfortable opening up their graphic cards. That's just not something a lot of people are comfortable doing. So I see why a lot of companies don't do that, but I really suggest everybody do that. So get in the comments. I'll put all the links to all where I bought it from, the store I bought it from. I'll put a link up in the description from where I bought it. There's other stores on AliExpress that sell it for way cheaper than even the store I bought it from, but I never had no dealings with them, so I can only really promote what I purchased. I can't really tell you what to do with any other store, but feel free to go ahead and place your order. I'm pretty sure everything will go through smooth. Now, this is also going to be good for if you decide to start mining Ravencoin after the merge. That Kapow algorithm is heavy on the wattage, so at the end of the day, this is definitely going to play a key factor in keeping your memory temps cooler. Now, one thing I want to point out, the best mining rig I ever seen with my 2 eyes is from a guy named GeekShhh. He has a 7-card 5700 XT liquid cool mining rig. The precision that went into him putting that together is just utterly amazing. Now, what I want to point out is his temperatures on that rig. He's looking around 44 core temp and 70 GPU memory temps. Now, this is not exactly an apples to apples comparison, because at the end of the day, there's other mitigating factors that go into why he get his temperatures and why I got my temperatures. But at the end of the day, it's really something to think about. I'm DeMarco Payne from GeekShhh. And last but not least, may the good graphic card deals be yours.